Disrespect cuts deep. It wounds our pride, tests our patience, and threatens our sense of self-worth. But how we respond to disrespect determines whether we rise above it or sink into the same darkness that was thrown at us. Respect is not always given, but self-respect must always be guarded. Today, I want to share with you not just 5, but 8 truths, 8 things you must never do when someone disrespects you. If you master these, you will never lose yourself in the storms of other people's immaturity. When disrespect strikes, it often feels like fire rushing through your veins. Your heart races, your fists clench, your tongue gets sharp. And before you even realize it, you've said something or done something that you can't take back. This is the trap of reacting in the heat of the moment. It makes you a prisoner to your emotions rather than the master of them. Here's the truth. The one who disrespects you is often looking for a reaction. They want to prove they have power over your emotions. The moment you lash out in anger, they win because they succeeded in pulling you out of your strength and into their chaos. That is why learning to pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. Think about it. When you respond immediately, fueled by rage or hurt, you rarely respond with clarity. You might say words that cut too deeply, or you may escalate a situation that could have been de-escalated with calm. Later, you replay that moment and regret how you handled it, not because you were wrong to feel hurt, but because you allowed your feelings to hijack your response. Instead of reacting instantly, take a breath, step back. Sometimes you need to physically remove yourself from the situation to regain control of your emotions. Silence in that moment is not surrender, it is strength. A calm spirit commands more authority than a loud voice ever could. By choosing not to react immediately, you shift the power back to yourself. Let me put it this way. Reacting is about them, but responding is about you. Reaction is impulsive, but response is intentional. And when you learn to hold your peace in heated moments, people will realize that your dignity cannot be played with, your emotions cannot be manipulated, and your self-respect is not for sale. So never react in the heat of the moment. It is better to stay quiet and think than to speak and regret. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply choosing not to be dragged into the chaos someone else created. One of the most dangerous effects of disrespect is not the words spoken against you, but the silent damage it can do inside your own mind. When someone dismisses you, belittles you, or treats you as though you are invisible, it is tempting to take their opinion and make it your truth. You begin to wonder, maybe they're right, maybe I'm not enough, maybe I don't matter as much as I thought. That is the greatest lie you could ever believe. Disrespect is not a mirror of your worth. It is a reflection of the other person's brokenness, insecurities, and lack of character. Their inability to see your value does not mean your value has decreased. Think of it this way. If someone throws dirt on a diamond, the diamond does not lose its worth. It is still rare, still precious, still priceless. The dirt only hides its shine for a moment. The same is true of you. Never allow another person's careless words or cruel actions to plant seeds of self-doubt in your heart. The way they treat you says everything about them and nothing about you. If you tie your self-worth to the opinions of others, your value will constantly rise and fall depending on who applauds you and who disrespects you. That is a dangerous roller coaster that strips you of peace. Instead, anchor your worth in something unshakable. Know who you are and what you bring to the table, even when no one acknowledges it. Respect yourself enough to remind your own heart, I am worthy, I am valuable, and no one's treatment of me can take that away. Here's the truth. Disrespect only hurts deeply when we secretly believe it might be true. That is why your greatest defense is to build unshakable confidence in who you are. When you stand secure in your worth, disrespect may sting, but it will not stick. You can walk away with your head held high, knowing that their opinion does not define your identity. So never doubt your own worth. The world may fail to recognize your value at times, but do not fail to recognize it yourself. When you know who you are, you can face any disrespect with quiet strength and unshakable dignity. When someone disrespects you, the immediate urge is to fight back with the same weapon they used against you. If they raise their voice, you want to raise yours louder. If they roll their eyes, you want to roll yours sharper. If they throw insults, you want to cut even deeper. In that moment, it feels like the only way to prove your strength is to mirror their energy. But here's the problem. The moment you stoop to their level, you become a reflection of them instead of a representation of your true self. Matching their energy does not prove your strength. It exposes your weakness. It shows that they had the power to drag you out of your character and into their chaos. And that's exactly what many disrespectful people want. They thrive on conflict. They feed off your reaction. They want to see you rattled because it reassures them of their own power. But you are not obligated to play their game. You can choose to rise higher. There is unmatched dignity in responding with calmness when someone expects rage. There is profound authority in refusing to be moved by their immaturity. When you don't mirror their behavior, you strip away their control and keep your power in your own hands. Think of it this way. If someone throws mud at you, you don't have to roll in the dirt to prove you can fight back. You can step aside, stay clean, and let them wrestle with their own mess. Your silence, your calmness, your refusal to engage on their level speaks louder than any insult could. It says, I am not who you think I am. I am better than the games you play. True maturity is not matching disrespect with disrespect. True maturity is setting a standard for how you allow yourself to be treated and refusing to compromise that standard, no matter how low someone else goes. When you refuse to match their energy, you send a powerful message. You cannot control me. You cannot define me. You cannot shake me. So the next time disrespect comes your way, pause and remind yourself, stooping low to match their energy only keeps you stuck at their level. But choosing calm, choosing dignity, and choosing restraint elevates you above them. Never match their energy. Protect your spirit, keep your peace, and let your composure speak volumes. Peace is one of the most valuable treasures you can ever own. It is the quiet confidence within you, the calm in your mind, and the stillness in your soul that no money can buy. When someone disrespects you, what they are often trying to do is disturb that peace. They want to shake you, provoke you, and pull you into their storm. And here's the truth. Disrespect does not always seek your agreement. It seeks your reaction. But your peace is not something to be handed over so cheaply. If you allow another person's immaturity to control your emotions, you have given them the keys to your inner life. You may win the argument, but you will lose the battle for your own sanity. And isn't it interesting that when someone disrespects you, the words they speak may last a few seconds, but the disturbance they leave can linger for hours, sometimes even days? That is because we let them take up residence in our minds long after the moment has passed. Never give away your peace. Guard it like a fortress. When you feel disrespected, remind yourself, I am in control of how much space this moment occupies in my heart. Their words or actions may hurt, but whether or not you carry that pain with you is a decision only you can make. This doesn't mean ignoring every offense. It means choosing wisely which battles deserve your energy and which don't. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every slight deserves your time. Sometimes the most powerful response is to simply walk away, unbothered, knowing that protecting your peace is more important than proving your point. Here's the key. People lose power over you the moment you refuse to let them disturb your inner calm. When you stay centered, when you hold on to your composure, you show them that no matter how loud their disrespect becomes, it cannot silence the quiet strength inside you. So never give away your peace. It is too precious, too rare, and too necessary for your growth. Let others fight for attention. Let them drown in their chaos, but you choose calm. Choose balance. Choose to protect your peace above everything else. Because once you lose it, everything else begins to fall apart. There is a fine line between choosing silence to protect your peace and staying silent in a way that betrays your own dignity. Sometimes silence is wisdom. It keeps you from unnecessary battles. But other times, silence is dangerous because it allows disrespect to become normal. If someone disrespects you repeatedly and you never speak up, your silence can easily be mistaken for acceptance. Disrespect, when tolerated in silence, grows bolder. The person begins to believe they have permission to treat you in ways that strip away your worth. And slowly, without realizing it, you start to live smaller, bending yourself to avoid conflict, shrinking your voice so others don't feel uncomfortable. That is not peace. That is suppression. That is betrayal of your own soul. There are moments when silence is no longer strength, but surrender. And those moments require courage, the courage to speak up, not with rage, but with clarity and firmness. To look someone in the eye and say, I will not accept being treated this way. Boundaries are not built in anger, they are built in love for yourself. They are the walls that protect your dignity and remind others that you will not be walked over. It takes courage to use your voice. Many people stay silent out of fear of rejection, fear of losing relationships, fear of being misunderstood. But here's the truth. Silence will not save you from disrespect. It will invite more of it. The cost of silence is often heavier than the cost of confrontation. So never stay silent if silence feels like betrayal. Speak up when your soul tells you that your dignity is on the line. Speak up when your silence would allow someone else to continue a cycle of harm. Speak up when you know that silence would leave you carrying regret. Your voice is a weapon of truth. Use it wisely, use it respectfully, but never bury it out of fear. The moment you find the courage to speak, you not only protect yourself, you teach others how to treat you. And that lesson is one of the most valuable boundaries you can ever set. When someone disrespects you, one of the easiest traps to fall into is gossip. You feel wounded, angry, and humiliated, so you look for comfort by telling others what happened. And at first, gossip feels like release. It gives you allies, it makes you feel justified, and it allows you to paint the offender as the villain. But here's the truth. Gossip may satisfy your emotions temporarily, but it poisons your integrity permanently. Retaliating through gossip doesn't heal you. It chains you to the very disrespect you are trying to escape. Instead of rising above it, you spread it. And the more you talk about someone behind their back, the more power you give them over your life. The person who disrespected you has already stolen your peace in the moment. Don't let them also steal your character afterward. When you engage in gossip, you don't just weaken your image in their eyes, you weaken it in the eyes of those who hear you. People may listen, they may even agree, but deep inside they will begin to wonder, if they talk this way about them, what will they say about me when I'm not around? Gossip damages trust, not just in the target, but in you as well. There's a higher way to handle disrespect. You can choose direct communication, address the issue calmly with the person involved. Or, if they are unwilling to change, you can choose dignified silence and move forward without spreading bitterness. Talking about someone in their absence will never solve the problem, but choosing to protect your integrity will always elevate you. Remember this, your reputation is not built by how people treat you, but by how you respond when they mistreat you. Gossip lowers you to the same level as the one who disrespected you. But refusing to gossip, even when it would be easy, shows strength, wisdom, and maturity. So never retaliate through gossip. Protect your words, protect your dignity, and protect your peace. Let others see that while someone may have disrespected you, they could not corrupt the strength of your character. That is the kind of response that silences gossip without you ever needing to say a word. Disrespect is rarely about you. It is almost always about the one delivering it. People who lash out with cruelty often do so because of the unhealed wounds they carry. They may be dealing with insecurity, bitterness, jealousy, or anger they don't know how to process. And instead of facing their own pain, they project it onto others. You just happen to be in the line of fire. The danger is that if you are not careful, you start to believe that their treatment of you is a reflection of your worth. You take their pain, their insecurity, their brokenness, and wear it as your identity. You start replaying their words in your mind. You're not good enough. You don't matter. You'll never be respected. But here's the truth. Their disrespect is not your definition. It is not a mirror of who you are. It is a window into who they are. When you internalize someone else's pain, you carry a weight that was never yours to hold. Imagine carrying another person's bag full of stones everywhere you go, stones of their anger, their jealousy, their resentment. It will drain your strength, crush your spirit, and make you question your own path. But those stones don't belong to you. You were never meant to carry them. The moment you recognize that disrespect is projection, not reflection, you set yourself free. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start realizing something is hurting inside them. That shift in perspective protects your heart. It doesn't excuse their behavior, but it keeps you from confusing their issues with your identity. Never let someone else's brokenness rewrite the story of your life. You are more than the labels people try to place on you. You are more than the disrespect that's been thrown at you. You are more than the pain someone tried to dump on your shoulders. So never internalize their pain as your identity. Leave what belongs to them with them. See. Carry only what is yours, your dignity, your strength, your truth. When you refuse to accept their projection, you rise above the cycle of pain and show that your worth cannot be stolen by anyone's disrespect. One of the hidden dangers of disrespect is that it can make you shrink. When someone mocks you, dismisses your ideas, or belittles your presence, the natural temptation is to step back, play smaller, and protect yourself from more rejection. You start avoiding opportunities where you might be judged. You stop sharing your voice in rooms where you fear you'll be ignored. You begin to hide your light, not because you don't have it, but because you don't want it to draw fire. But here is the hard truth. If you allow someone's disrespect to limit your growth, you are giving them more power than they deserve. Their behavior should never become the ceiling that keeps you from rising. Disrespect does not mean you are not capable. It simply means they are too small-minded to recognize your potential. Why should their blindness become the reason you stop shining? Never stop growing because of their behavior. Keep learning, keep stretching, keep showing up for yourself. The best response to disrespect is not revenge, it is progress. Nothing silences critics like undeniable growth. The person who once tried to belittle you will one day be forced to watch as you rise to heights they never imagined. And here's something even more important. When you keep growing in the face of disrespect, you not only protect your future, you also protect your self-respect. You send a clear message to yourself and to the world. I will not shrink to fit your comfort. I will not stop because you tried to block me. I will not surrender my destiny because of your immaturity. Remember, growth is not just about success, it is about resilience. Every time you rise after being disrespected, you prove to yourself that your future is bigger than their insult. You show that your destiny is not controlled by their approval, so never stop growing because of their behavior. Let their disrespect become fuel for your determination, not chains around your progress. Keep moving forward, keep building, keep shining, because your growth is the loudest response you can ever give. Disrespect is something every single one of us will face in life. You cannot control when it comes, who it comes from, or how it shows up. But what you can control always is how you respond to it. That response determines whether you lose yourself in the chaos of another person's behavior or whether you rise above it with dignity and strength. Never react in the heat of the moment. Never doubt your worth. Never match their energy. Never give away your peace. Never stay silent if silence means betraying yourself. Never retaliate through gossip. Never internalize their pain as your identity. And never ever stop growing because of their behavior.